Welcome back, adventurers. Today we're tackling a classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People, by Dale Carnegie. But instead of just listing the principles, we're going to tell you a story about how one millennial used these techniques to transform his work life and relationships. If you're ready to see how these timeless tips can help you win at work and beyond, stick around. Meet Jake. He was your typical millennial, 28 years old, juggling remote work and fueled by a steady diet of oat milk lattes and ambition. Jake worked as a project manager for a tech startup, and while he had the brain power and a knack for efficiency, something wasn't quite clicking. Jake wanted to be the guy at work, the one everyone looked to for advice and support. In short, he wanted to be a leader. His dream was simple, a promotion. But not just any promotion. Jake wanted the kind of recognition that meant people could rely on him, that they'd trust his judgment. He spent hours perfecting his project plans, often taking charge in meetings to show off his expertise. Yet somehow, his colleagues seemed to retreat whenever he spoke. His ideas were good, but his delivery, not so much. Jake craved more than just a title. He wanted the respect that comes with being the person others instinctively trust and seek out. But despite his best efforts, he found himself constantly at odds with his team. It wasn't that his ideas were bad, they just weren't landing. His colleagues seemed to avoid his input, and when he pushed his opinions, they'd either nod politely or offer half-hearted responses. Jake was stumped. No matter how clear he was in presenting his solutions, it always felt like his words were falling on deaf ears. Was it his tone? His timing? It all clicked one day after another unproductive meeting. His manager pulled him aside and said, "Jake, you're brilliant, but you might want to work on how you interact with the team. Leadership isn't just about being right, it's about bringing people along with you." That's when Jake realized the truth. He wasn't leading, he was lecturing. Not one to back down from a challenge, Jake took his manager's advice seriously. That weekend, he picked up How to Win Friends and Influence People, hoping it might hold the key to his problem. He was skeptical at first. Could a book from 1936 really help him navigate the complexities of a modern tech startup? But with nothing to lose, Jake decided to dive in. Jake started with Carnegie's first principle. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. He realized he'd been too quick to point out what was wrong with other people's ideas, assuming that by fixing their mistakes, he'd gain their respect. Instead, he was just coming off as arrogant. Tip: one of the most powerful ways to build rapport is by avoiding criticism altogether. Instead of pointing out flaws, highlight what's going right and suggest improvements with encouragement. Criticism can shut people down, but appreciation and positive reinforcement make them more open to change. Next, Jake focused on the second principle: give honest and sincere appreciation. He made a conscious effort to appreciate the good work his team was doing. "Mariana, your report was spot on," he'd say, or "Diego, I really liked how you handled that client's question." He learned that people craved recognition, and acknowledging their efforts could go a long way. Tip: Carnegie emphasizes the importance of making your appreciation genuine. People can sense when praise is insincere, and it can backfire. Be specific in your compliments and focus on actions or traits you truly admire. It will have a deeper impact. Jake's journey is just beginning. In part 2, we'll dive deeper into the techniques he used to build stronger relationships, lead his team more effectively, and win the respect he craved. Trust me, you don't want to miss how these small shifts led to big changes. So stay tuned for the next part of Jake's story and our review of How to Win Friends and Influence People. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss it.